Hey guys, it's Vic, and today we're going to look at our 5th entry in the Victionary, the Forge Splattershot Pro. The Victionary is a series of guides to help provide a starting point for players looking to pick up new weapons, or those who want some tips moving forward with the weapons they like. The Forge Splattershot Pro is the customized version of the Splattershot Pro, boasting the same amazing range and versatility of the regular Splattershot Pro. However, this one has a much more offensive kit. Like the regular Splattershot Pro, you'll still need 3 shots to guarantee a splat. The Forge Splattershot Pro comes equipped with suction bombs and a bubble blower, making it a powerful tool in any ranked mode. When you're playing this weapon, you aren't really limited in what you choose to do. For example, you could play it like a huge baby and stay far away from the action for the entire game, inking the zone and throwing tons of bubbles and just being a general annoyance to the enemy team. Personally, I see more success when you're a little more on the aggressive side. This doesn't mean you should play the weapon like an N-Zap, for example. The Forge Splattershot Pro isn't going to be winning 1v1s against really crazy mobile guns, but unlike some of the other long-range options in this game, the Forge Splattershot Pro does stand a chance at least. Your 3 shots are accurate enough and come out in close enough succession that you can win some fights. However, your strafing speed is, really bad. It's absolutely terrible. You won't be running from any fights while you're shooting. Swim away, reposition, and fire new bullets at your target. If you're lucky, they may be so hungry for the kill that they'll follow you directly, meaning you can turn back around and get an easy kill as your opponents try to close in on your long range. You'll be surprised at how many players will try to go for that aggressive kill even in a bad situation. This happens because a lot of the time, a long-range player will try to outspace a short-range player, and the short-range player will try to stay inside of that range. Because this makes a lot of sense to do, you can take advantage of it, as long as you don't get closed in on, of course. This is a lot harder to do in a 2v1 situation, because your weapon won't be hitting more than one opponent at a time. You should never push in by yourself with the Forge Splattershot Pro if there's a risk of being ambushed. The Forge Splattershot Pro doesn't come with a sub or a special to survive being ambushed, or even to leave anything behind of use. The regular Splattershot Pro has the point sensor, which means that you can at least mark your opponents if you're gonna die. All you can really leave behind with the Forge Pro is a suction bomb. These suction bombs can get some pretty funny after-death kills though, so if you're really gonna go and you know you're not gonna win the fight, leave a suction bomb behind. It'll at least force your opponents away from that spot. The Forge Pro received a number of buffs throughout the game to match its predecessor in Splatoon 1, including a very important shot velocity buff. The bullets of the Forge Pro fly so fast that you don't have to worry about tracking in the same way you might have to with some other long-range weapons in this game. Tracking is shooting at where your opponents are going to be, and not exactly where they are at the very moment. Ideally, with how fast the bullets fly, you'll be able to land most of your shots without your opponents knowing where you are, which means they won't run away. If they do start to run away, hopefully you've fired a couple of shots already, and maybe you've made a couple of hits. The high damage from the Splattershot Pro means that one of your opponents will probably be able to finish them off pretty quickly. If you're picking off opponents and scaring them out of places, you're doing your teammates a huge service. They'll be able to force their way deeper into enemy territory while you scare away any threats. If you want to push up with your friends and you're staying in the back line, make sure you're firing ahead to slow any enemy advance. If you know there's a path to the side painted with enemy ink, you can cover this as well. You have the range to reach all the way up that path. Not only does the Splattershot Pro get that great velocity, it also has extremely high accuracy. This means that even from far away, you'll land more of your fall-off shots than with the 96 gal dually squelcher. However, this means that if your aim is shaky, the Forge Splattershot Pro is not going to be kind to you. One way to fix this might be to lower your sensitivity just a little bit from what you usually play to have a steadier aim. You have to be, as the kids call it, on point. Otherwise, you might want to practice your aim in the practice room or in Turf War before taking this weapon to ranked. Have you ever considered doing some private battles with friends as target practice? I might make a video on strategies for this sometime. Another idea is going into recon mode and seeing exactly where your bullets can reach. Don't guess where you can hit your opponents. Knowing your exact range will let you get opponents hiding in tricky spots. It'll also help keep enemy squids away from you because you can start shooting early. Wait until they're in your exact range and just fire your weapon. Riddle me this. Can you reach into the zone on Sturgeon Shipyard with your Forge Pro from that sniper grate? Yeah, you can. Your suction bomb is an offensive powerhouse that you want to take advantage of. Trying to outspace your opponents? Throw a suction bomb behind them, so if they try to back off to run away, you might get them on the bomb instead. Put your suction bomb behind walls and corners, so if opponents are chasing you, they might die on that. Throwing your suction bomb onto the tower on tower control will either force them right off or make them have to go in a specific position on the tower or else they'll get splatted. To survive against the suction bomb on the tower, your opponent has to be 180 degrees away from the bomb. This means the opposite end of the tower. Throw your bomb, and then shoot it where your opponent has to go. You'll probably splat them in the process. Want a classic strategy that players have loved to take advantage of since the Forge Pro came out to the game? Oh, drumroll please? Equip Object Shredder. That's it. Object Shredder will make your suction bomb almost powerful enough to immediately pop the bubbles you use in your bubble blower. In fact, if no opponent starts shooting back at your bubble, you can completely pop it in just one more shot. This lets you make a quick, massive explosion during a tense moment if you blow just one bubble and immediately try to pop it. Who says you have to be the bubble popper anyway? You can open your bubbles and allow your teammates to work on them as a distraction while you pick off foes who are scared of your bubbles. Another idea? You can let the bubbles float directly into the ranked objective, such as the clam basket in Clam Blitz, and then pop them so your foes have to stay back or risk a splat. Huge bubbles make fantastic shields for you and your team. Throw your bubbles ahead of the tower's path on maps like Walleye Warehouse or Port Mackerel to have a nearly impenetrable wall of protection for a few seconds. It might help you get past that obnoxious checkpoint. Improve your Forge Pro gameplay even more by using good gear options like Ink Saver Main or Ink Recovery Up. You want Ink Saver Main if you know you're going to be in a lot of aggressive, long firefights. Otherwise, Ink Recovery Up tends to help the Forge Splattershot Pro a ton more. You'll recover lots of ink while repositioning to continue barraging your opponents. The Forge Pro eats a lot of ink, so you might find Ink Saver Sub useful to keep shooting after you throw a bomb. Speaking of throwing your bombs, if you want to be able to put your bombs deep into enemy territory without having to go there yourself, you might like Sub Power Up for your suction bombs. If you really want to annoy your opponents, and you know you're not going to be dying too often, I'd strongly recommend picking up Respawn Punisher. You might be like, Respawn Punisher? Don't a lot of players say that's bad? Well, I've been noticing more and more players picking up Respawn Punisher for good reason. If you're a backliner, you're going to not be dying too often. Respawn Punisher means that the opponents that you pick off will be out of the game for even longer. That'll help you and your teammates. Be warned that if you're playing aggressively, Respawn Punisher may hurt you too. Your opponents may also try to counter it by wearing Quick Respawn or Special Saver. A little bit of movement can go a long way on the Forge Splattershot Pro. As I mentioned before, the Forge Splattershot Pro is hilariously slow. But being hilariously slow does help your aim. Be prepared to aim more carefully as a trade-off for faster speed. Run speed on the Forge can surprise your opponents when you're not as easy of a target as they thought. Know that no matter how much run speed you use though, you'll never be NZAP fast, just faster than normal. Swim speed on the Forge Pro is great. It'll help you escape sticky situations and also to move to new positions to support your teammates quicker on maps that have long open terrain, such as Muscle Forge Fitness or Mako Mart. I hope these tips help improve your Forge Splattershot Pro play. If you don't already play the Forge Splattershot Pro, it might be a good alternative if you're looking for a new long-range shooter to try. Do you have your own favorite Forge Splattershot Pro strategies? Don't be afraid to have a discussion in the comments below. If you'd like me to talk about your favorite weapon or a weapon you're interested in trying, leave a comment. Thanks Rex for recommending the Forge Pro in my previous video. Could be just like Rex if you leave a recommendation for me. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day!